Hi guys, Miss Whitehead here. In this video, we're going to talk about the history of the recorder. The recorder is a whistle-type woodwind instrument that is from an ancient family of instruments called the internal duct flutes. For many centuries, it was the most popular woodwind instrument. It was being used as a folk instrument as early as the 12th century, so a very long time ago. During the 16th century, several composers were writing solo and ensemble music for the recorder. Two of these were Bach and Handel, probably the best-known composers of the Baroque time period. The transverse flute, or the side-blown flute, like what we're used to seeing today, had replaced the recorder by the 18th century because it had a much broader dynamic range than a recorder and could blend better with the larger, louder orchestras of the day. So the recorder kind of has one volume and that's all you can play, but the flute you can play loud or soft sounds, so the flute kind of took over the recorder's place in the orchestra. Recorders probably came to America with some of the first settlers. There are as many as 26 recorders listed in the inventories of various plantations in the 1600s. So 26 different types of recorders. Around 1925, the recorder began to make a comeback in popularity because of a renewed interest in Renaissance and Baroque music. Today, more than 3.5 million plastic recorders are made each year. Recorders are played in many elementary schools and can be a wonderful instrument to learn on its own or as an introductory band instrument. So if you played the clarinet or flute or saxophone, the recorder is very similar to that in many ways. Many skills are learned from playing of the recorder, such as fingering skills, embouchure development, that's how you hold your mouth, breath support when you're breathing, articulation skills, and development of the inner ear, so being able to listen. The 5 most common recorders are sopranino, or descant it's sometimes called, soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. The smallest is the Garklean recorder, which is only 4 inches long. The largest recorder is called a subcontrabass, and it's about 10 feet long. The soprano recorder is the recorder that's most often played by beginners. All of these recorders can play together, just like a choir. This group is called a consort, or sometimes you might hear it just be called a recorder choir. This video is an example of the Garklean recorder, which is the smallest recorder there is. So we'll listen to a little bit of this so you can hear what it sounds like. So you can see very high sounding recorder, so that's the smallest recorder that there is. This next video, this is an example of the subcontrabass, which is 10 feet long. So you're going to see him kind of putting it together, and then we'll hear him play it. So kind of the complete opposite of what we just heard with the smallest recorder. That one was the largest recorder. The recorder that we are going to be playing is called the Soprano Recorder. And this is an example of some of the solo music that was written for the Soprano Recorder. So this guy's playing, he's going kind of fast. It is high sounding, but not quite as high as the Garklean recorder. So we'll listen to a little bit of his recorder solo. So we won't be playing quite that fast, but that's just an example of something you could do on the recorder. That is something that's possible to play today still. Last example that we're going to watch, this is a recorder choir. So you'll see there's some soprano recorders right here, maybe some of the alto recorders, and then down over here we go all the way to the subcontra bass recorder. So there's none of the smallest one in this example. And you'll see they have lots of other recorders that they might use in other songs, but we'll listen to a little bit of this. This is a recorder choir. So we're going to pause there. So that's just an example of what you could do with a lot of recorders. So there's lots that you can do with recorders. Obviously, we're starting at the beginning with ours, but that is kind of some different recorder sounds that you could hear.